Okay, recording.
Okay, this is my forced speech, the legalization of drugs and the national debt, and this is my audience. And there's one behind the camera, of course. Thank you, Meryl, I appreciate it. Okay. I guess we're ready to go. My purpose today is to persuade you to vote for the legalization of drugs. And why do I want you to vote for the legalization of drugs? Because it's going to save us lots of money. It's going to save all Americans money. As politicians today emphasize cost cutting, it makes sense to analyze the war on drugs versus fiscal responsibility. My plan is to eradicate the national debt within 5 years of legalizing and regulating the drug trade. Transferring jurisdiction over drugs from the DEA to the FDA will ensure regulation. We've got Controlled Substances Act, which will reclassify drugs. Politicians will assist in the lobbying. And stopping the anti-drug mentality, that's our biggest hurdle. Our problems today are the cost on law enforcement, the cost on the courts, corrections, and the cost of human lives. Every 1.5 minutes in America, there are 5 people arrested for drug offenses. The cost, according to the War on Drugs clock, is $83,370.35 every 1.5 minutes. In 2010, the federal government spent $15 billion at the rate of $500 per second. And in 2010, state and local governments spent an additional $25 billion. So let's begin with that 1.5 minutes. Did you know so far in 2011, 849,000 people have been arrested for drug offenses? Did you know that?
No.
Did you know in 2010, 1.7 million people were arrested for drug offenses? Did you know that?
No.
So where do those 1.7 million people go? They go into our courts, they go into our jails, they go into corrections. That's where our main cost is going. Okay, now, did you know the cost on law enforcement? Do you know what the cost on law enforcement is on the war on drugs?
No.
No? It's vehicle maintenance, gasoline, the personnel, and it even comes down to office supplies, paper, ink, time with the people to do everything. Police are the messengers of the law, not the makers of the law. So the war on drugs is often misconstrued as a police issue when it's truly a legislative issue. So again, we go back to the solution. We're going to take the drugs out of the hands of the DEA, give it to the FDA, regulate it, tax it, sell it. We're going to reclassify those drugs so they're no longer illegal. Therefore, we're going to take all those people out of the system, out of the prisons. Now, you may say, and many people won't agree with me, that this might cause a host of health problems, host of issues in society. But if we can truly take and eliminate our national debt, can't we put all that money towards feeding the homeless, housing the homeless, feeding those starving children, education? So, this is my plan. 525,600 minutes per year. You divide that by 1.5 minutes, as we talked about over there, and you take that times the $83,370.35, that equals $2.9 trillion a year into our Federal Reserve. into our pockets. Now, I know a lot of you are law enforcement, okay? Can you please tell me what you think is going to happen to law enforcement if the war on drugs were to go away? Can you tell me, Mr. Greb?
Call me out.
More time to fight real crime.
Exactly. They would have more time to fight violent crime. So, here I am, trying to persuade you to legalize drugs. But, in conclusion, in the infamous words of Albert Einstein, the prestige of government has undoubtedly been lowered considerably by prohibition laws. For nothing is more destructive. Nothing is more destructive than the respect for the government and the law of the land in passing laws that cannot be enforced. Thank you.